All right, so welcome back. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive on freestyle job. Okay, so I believe that you have already gone through the previous video where we actually see the overround, like how does freestyle job works like. In this specific video, we are going to level up our journey with the learnings with freestyle, right? In this video, what is the agenda? So basically, we are going to run the same project, but there would be a difference. We are going to make use of source code manager, that is Git, for pulling the code into the local. And secondly, we are going to send the mail on every unstable build. So this is something that we are going to do today. We are going to leverage the power of plugins. So this would be a very special video when it comes to learning the freestyle job that to in Jenkins. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so I have already logged into the Jenkins dashboard. So for demonstrating this specific one, let us create a new job itself. So let me just go to new item, and this time I'll write as Java freestyle job, and we are going to select the project type as freestyle project for now. Okay, and here if you want to add the description, then you can just write it, but for now we are just focusing on the functionality itself. So let me just scroll down, and here let me just select git, because here we don't want to manually pull the code. Okay, now before even we do the configuration, let me just show you what we did in the previous video as a recap, as a revision for us. Okay, so this was the project which we created earlier. If I go to the configuration section, here we didn't even selected any of the options, right? Already whatever was there, we actually were using the shell. So what it was doing, it was cloning the repo, it was changing the directory, then it was compiling the code, and then it was running the program. Okay, this thing was done, and then I told you something about post build action. Okay, now what post build action is? Post build is an operation that you do once the job has been executed. Okay, once this build step is done. Okay, now let me go back again. We were configuring the Jenkins freestyle job. Let me go back to the configuration. Here, let us select the Git as the source code manager, and this is the repository that we are going to use. Okay, let me just copy the URL and paste it over here in the repository URL. Now, since it is a public repo, do we need to provide the credential? Definitely no. Now, if you are dealing with a private repository, at that time those credentials are required. In the further videos, in the coming videos, we are going to see how you can configure the credentials. But for now, right now, the focus is to making our basics strong, just to focus on the learning on the freestyle project. So let me scroll all the way to the bottom. Here it is asking, then, okay, you provided me the repository. Now, which branch to take care of? Okay, now here you can go to the repository and check whether the basic configuration of your Git is set up to master or main. Now, here you can definitely see the main branch is the one that we are supposed to build. So, go to the Jenkins job again, and here change the master branch to main branch. Okay, so here we were specifying the master branch as main branch because the default configuration of the branch in this repo is main. Okay, so what we did, we specified the branch that we need to build for. Okay, scroll all the way to the bottom, and here there is the build step. Now here again we are going to run the execution cell, and here let me just print the current working directory for now to make sure whether the cloning has been done or not. Okay, so let me just write here echo printing the current directory. Okay, this is done. Apply and save, and let me run this job. Okay, build is scheduled, and here is the first job which is showing as success, and in the console output. Okay, here we will get all the information. All right, so here it is cloning the repository. Okay, repository is been cloned under the workspace Jenkins freestyle job. Okay, all right, and then it set the remote configuration URL. Done, and here it saw the last commit message, just create Docker file, and then here it is printing the current working directory space, and that is this workspace. All right, the initial thing is done. Now let us go back to the job under the configuration. Now let us do the further more steps. Okay, now if you go to this repo, you can see within this repository there is first program directory under which the files are present. So let us do the compilation and let us build the application. Let us go to build step. Now here echo change the directory, and here we'll write cd first program, and then go. Let's compile the Java file by using the command javac first dot java, and post that we are going to build the application. So echo running the Java application. Okay, this is also done. And here let us pass the actual command which is required to run the application. So instead of Java, say here it would be Java first.java. Okay, the basic thing is done. Let us first try to execute it and let us see whether the jobs is been executed or not. Now let us wait for the second build to get executed. And here you can see the success status, meaning everything is working fine. Okay, now here it changed the directory part to first program. Okay, then it started compiling of the Java file, and then it actually executed the Java file, and here we are getting the output of the file, and it actually finished with the status success. Okay, now if you go to the Java Freestyle job, okay, under the workspace, here we are just checking what sort of files are created. Now here you can see it actually cloned everything, and all the information is present over here. Okay, the initial thing is done. Now, whatever we did in the previous video, the same thing is been done in this video. The only difference lies over here is we made use of the source code manager this time. Okay. Now, as I mentioned in the starting itself that we are going to utilize the power of post build action. Here, we are going to send the email to the recipient whenever a job is getting filled. Okay. So for that, here we are going to make use of the plugins. Okay. So go to this setting that is called manage Jenkins. Okay, and here under plugins you need to search for a mailer. Okay, go to available plugins, and here you have to search for mailer, or you can just write email. Okay, here you need to search for email extension template, and search for mail. Okay, this is done, and just click on install. Okay, so there are two extensions which are required. First is mailer, which comes by default, and second is the email template. Okay, and click on restart Jenkins when the installation is complete. Now, Shubham, why do we actually need to restart Jenkins while we are installing the plugins? Okay, so just like the configuration which we do on the command line, it need a refresher. Okay, like the same way, if you want the extension to work properly, the configuration to load correctly, you need to restart the Jenkins. Okay, so whenever you are installing any plugins and if it requires restart, then definitely go for it, because it will reload the Jenkins and will include all the updates that plugins required in order to run that specific job. So let me just log in. The restart is completed. Okay. All right. So here, if you go to the installed plugins and if you search for mail. Okay, so these are the extensions that we have currently. So first one is the mailer plugin that we need to see. If it is not present, then go install it from the available plugins. And second is email extension plugin. Okay, so both the things are done. Now go back to Jenkins again, and this is the place where we are going to do the actual configuration for the mail itself. And if you remember earlier, we were not getting this editable email notification template option, but after the restart, everything is highlighting over here. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to system, and here we are going to do the actual configuration that is required to send the mail. Okay. So let us wait for some time and let it load. Okay. Here you need to go all the way to the bottom and you need to search for email notification. Okay. And here we are making use of SMTP. Now, what actually SMTP is? Simple mail transfer protocol, which is used for communicating via the mail. And here we are going to make use of Gmail. So the SMTP server will be smtp.gmail.com. Okay. Now, what would be the default email suffix? So here it would be @gmail.com. Okay. Now go to advanced. Here you need to provide the username. Okay, so here in my case it is the email address that I will be using for sending the mail, and second is the password. Now, do I need to provide the Gmail password. So definitely no. Here you need to go for Google app password. Click here. Okay, and here you need to create a new app. So first of all, just log in with your Gmail. All right, so once the login is success, here you need to create an app. So let me just write Jenkins application auth and click on create. Now this is the password that it is expecting for. Okay, now go to system again and here just add the password. Make sure that you're using SSL secure socket layer. Okay, if you want to know more about it, just click here and then go to the bottom and add the SMTP port as 465. And since this is the very first time we are doing the configuration, click on test configuration by sending email. And here just write the mail where you want to do the test. So click on this and click on test configuration. Now wait for some time and here it is showing that email was sent successfully. Okay, so let me just go to my Gmail and check whether there is a test mail or not. Okay, here you can see the test mail is received, okay, which means the configuration is valid and we are good to go with the next step. Click on save. Now, the next thing is to go back to the Jenkins job which we created. So let me go over here, go to the configuration section. So we were here till build step. Everything was working fine. We did the clone. We entered the directory. We compiled the project. Then we executed the Java application. Now, under post build action, we want to send email notification whenever something go wrong. Now, whom to send this email? Now, just add the email address. Okay. And here let us make some mistakes. So instead of, let's say, this main branch, you're scanning the master branch, which doesn't exist. So click on apply and save and build the job again. One sec. All right. And build the job again. Okay. Now here you can see the fourth and third job got failed. Okay. Now here see the console output. What actually is the issue? Okay. So here it is building in the workspace which we created. So basically this is the job name. Okay. Now second thing is it was trying to clone the repository. Okay. But here it is showing that this is the origin master, meaning this is the branch that it is trying to pull. And here the error says couldn't find the revision to build. Verify the repository branch configuration for this job. Now, if you go back to your Gmail, there should be a mail received against this issue. And here you will see there is a link which will redirect you to the job where actual you can see the issue. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to troubleshoot the issue. Now, as we figured out that, yeah, there is an issue with the branch itself. We are going back to the repository and check, okay, the main branch is present over here. So go back under build step, under the source code manager, just correct the branch by main to master to main, click on apply and save. Now click on build now. Okay. Now we troubleshoot the issue and it is working fine. Now again, if you go back to the success, here what it is showing, okay, we did the checkout, okay, and then we entered the repository, compilation is done, program execution is done, and then it is sending the mail, the success mail to the mentioned email address. Now go back to Gmail and here you can see the Jenkins build is back to normal. And when you click over here, it will redirect you to the console output where you can actually see what are the changes were done and how the application is running now. Now, by doing so, we actually saw how we can send an email address while running the job. Secondly, is we figured out, okay, if there is some issue, how we can troubleshoot it. In this video, we learned about the power of plugins and how do we leverage it for our own sake. Okay, so I think this was a very good learning when it comes to Jenkins Freestyle Job. Today we learned two new things: how we can make use of source code manager and how we can push notification via email, right? So yeah, that was all. I hope you learned a lot in this video and I will see you in the next one.